Oh boy, Adventure Time gets dark. Now, as we all know, Adventure Time is basically centered around super creepy stuff. Now, if you guys couldn't tell, I especially love doing the dark videos. I don't know, man, my birthday is in October and I'm a Libra, not really into all the zodiac sign stuff, but man, do I love me some good creepy stories. They just hit different, and that's exactly what I have for you guys today. Leave a like and subscribe if you rock with my content. Now let's get into this video. Now this episode kicks off with Finn and Jake chilling at the pizza spot, smashing on some pizza. And while they eat, they are also listening to this late night talk show. This is when the radio host starts talking about conspiracy theories.
I firmly believe that all chocolate has been secretly replaced by mud.
He also is questioning why the burrito man is giving out free burritos, like my guy just can't be a good person. He says he believes the burrito man is really an amateur scientist that is trying to genetically change them into tortillas. Now, I seen the look on Jake's face when he heard this. You wildin' now with these conspiracy theories. The radio host then says, when was the last time you sharpened your pencils? He says, never, because they are pens painted to look like pencils. Bro, what the f? This has to be the worst conspiracy theory I've ever heard. Like, I vividly remember getting up to sharpen my pencil in elementary school, my guy. Anyways, by this point, Jake had enough when he says, I don't know why they always have it on this whack station when we come here. Finn then tells him to be quiet because he was trying to listen to the frightened caller who had called in. This is when things get weird, when the caller was a local resident and had claimed he may have seen something that wasn't from this earth lurking around. He said it took place last Sunday when he was doing his laundry and seen a shadow of a blank-eyed girl. He said he turned around but nobody was there. Bruh, look at this motherfucker here. If I was that banana, I definitely would have been a banana split after seeing that. This is when the radio host says that multiple soulless blank-eyed girls have been seen through many villages throughout the century. He says nobody knows what they are or where they come from. He also says that the little girls could be ghosts and that the last thing they saw in life was so horrific it literally made their eyes turn blank. Man, what could possibly be so damn horrific that it makes you go blind? That has to be some scary. Now Jake hears this and calls baloney, and this man knocks over all their delicious pizza. Finn was sitting there sad as but they still decide to take the rest home. This is when the guy charges my man $200 for floor pizza. I mean, just straight finessing my guy Finn. Now while he's preparing their pizza, Finn asks Jake how he could be so dismissive about the idea of a blank-eyed girl roaming around, especially with all the crazy they have seen so far. When Jake was like, man, I have to draw the line somewhere. This is when Jake was about to turn off the radio when the guy was like,
Baloney! Don't touch my radio.
but he was not going for that. So the guys are on the way home, and by this point it had gotten super dark outside. Finn then asked Jake if he was sure that the blank-eyed girl was made up because it was starting to get to his head. This is when the guys start fooling around and joking like, bruh, it's already super dark and we're in the woods. On top of that, we just heard some creepy stuff on the radio that could possibly be true. My main focus would be on getting the f out of there. So they continue walking and they both notice the sound of twigs breaking in the background with their every move, kind of like someone was watching and following them. The sound of twigs breaking increases like someone was speeding up. This is when the guys hear actual running and they make a run for it back to the crib. They make it inside and I can tell by the look on both of their faces that they seem pretty shaken up. They start laughing it off like, nah, that was probably our imagination messing with us, when someone starts scratching on the door from the outside. Finn was like, bruh, I'm really not in the mood for jokes right now, but please tell me that was just you. Jake was like, nah, I was thinking the same about you. This is when they stand up and open the door. Oh my god, bro, imagine opening your door at night and seeing that. I'm out every organ I have in my body that night. That's assuming I don't die from a heart attack first. The guys are absolutely terrified by this and scream. They slammed the door and Finn was like, alright bruh, let me get myself together. That could be a normal little girl that needs help. Like yeah, this motherfucker here is totally normal. He opens the door and we see the girl had left, but the door rams itself shut. This is when Jake notices the blank-eyed girl in one of the windows. The guys are terrified, but Finn says he has a plan. So Finn calls into the radio show that he originally heard about the blank-eyed girl from and tells Starchy they are in a blank-eyed girl situation right now and asks what they should do. While Finn is doing this, Jake says that he will go up and get a better view. This is when Jake goes to the top window and sees his worst nightmare. The blank-eyed girl was just outside, standing, waiting, with that same soulless, blank expression. When BMO comes up behind Jake and this man was just shook. We are taken back downstairs to Finn when Starchy asks Finn if he had invited the blank-eyed girl in. Finn says no, and he says the reason he asked this was because he believed the blank-eyed girl had to follow vampire rules, and as long as he didn't invite her inside, he was good. This is when gets real when Finn drops his pencil. He goes to retrieve it and his worst nightmare comes true. She had somehow made it inside the house. They quickly hide behind the couch and Finn tells Starchy that she's staring right at them. Starchy tells them to offer the girl some cream in a saucer to satisfy her hunger. He says after this she should go away. Finn sends Jake to go get the cream when Jake was like, bruh, why do I have to go get it? This is when Jake attempts to feed her the cream, but she licks this man instead and he goes absolutely crazy. Finn tells Starchy this didn't work when he then suggests that they try playing some music. Now this was a terrible mistake because when he starts playing the music more and more blank-eyed girls just start appearing out of nowhere. They stop playing the music and are now stuck with 6 blank-eyed girls. Starchy then says that he for sure knows what they are dealing with now. He says the undead feels the gaze of the common yard chicken when Jake is getting super irritated because this man Starchy is just saying anything at this point. So they were about to use Jake as bait, but Jake had enough by this point. He finally calls Starchy out on all his bullshit advice he was given and hangs up on him. Finn says, well, what are we supposed to do now? Jake tells him they will go right to the source. Well, the second source at least. They walk in the library and find this book called Creepy Stuff. They also come across the turtle princess who had apparently dyed her hair black. I mean, she just out here styling on these other turtles. I see you, girl. But anyways, they ask her if she had any info about the blank-eyed girls, and this is when she tells them that they first appeared 5 years ago. While she's explaining this, Finn totally ignores her because everything is now starting to make sense to him. This is when Finn says,
maybe they're tulpas! What the blob's a tulpa?
Finn says a tulpa is a physical manifestation of concentrated collective thoughts. They are entities that depend on the belief of others. Basically, they feed on your fear. And Starchy has all his viewers spooked into believing the blank-eyed girl is real. So Finn is saying that if you ignore the blank-eyed girls and stop thinking about them, that eventually they'll just go away. The guys then head back and Finn tells Jake to just be cool and do what he does. Now this part is absolutely hilarious to me. Finn isn't having a problem ignoring the girls, but Jake on the other hand is about to bricks. I mean, just look at my guy. They're just terrifying this man for the fun of it at this point, almost like it's a joke. Jake tries to think about happy thoughts, but he can't because everything he thinks about ends up reminding him about the girls. He finally loses it and breaks down on the floor, giving in to his fear.
Do what you will, you gloveless blank-eyed girls!
This is when we see the girls remove the dark eyes. Turns out they had all been wearing contact lenses this entire time. Okay, so they weren't real. But wait, things actually get worse. The girls then removed their wigs, indicating they weren't actually girls at all. Apparently they weren't even human either, because just take a look at this. They popped their heads off, dropped their clothing, and also shed their skin. Yeah, that escalated very fast. These weird beings then open the window and just drift off with the wind.
What the
fuck? I finished it for you, Finn. That was creepy, and we get no further explanation on what these things actually were. So tell me what you guys think about this interesting episode of Adventure Time in the comments down below. And until next time, peace.